Algebra I Honors, Lesson 3.4, Solving Multi-Step Equations, and 3.5, Solving Equations with Variables on Both Sides. So when multiple operations are used, we work backwards. This gets into the PEMDAS thing. First off, don't worry about the exponents for a long time. This one kind of changes with each equation, but we are definitely doing this first and this second. So for example, a lot of people say, oh, I'll just divide by 7, PEMDAS. No, we're in backwards here. Plus 17 these cancel, then divide. Here we add 9. Oh, by the way, checked. Add 9, cancel. That's the whole point. Negative 2 times 12 times 12. At the times always looks like a negative. Works. Now, you say, okay, you've been telling me to do it opposite. I better add first. Well, no, that's stuck up here. It's in parentheses, so I'm going to leave it till the very end. But sometimes I'll do it first. It's confusing. In this case, there's nothing to add or subtract. I have to multiply by 9 on both sides. Now I can get rid of the parentheses. I would not be a person who tries to memorize techniques to solve these. I would be a person who practices a lot and gets good at them because they are not easy. They take a lot of practice. Checking these off to the side on the fly. Again, I'm going to take this whole thing, multiply by negative 2. B plus 4 equals 34 minus 4 works. Alright, as always, now we go back to the equations. 12 decreased by twice a number. 12 decreased by twice some number. Now this is a problem. A lot of people look at it and say, oh, I've got to add 12 because 12 is negative. 12 is not negative. If that helps, write it like that. To solve this, we have to subtract 12. Divide by negative 2. Sorry, I don't like my handwriting sometimes. X equals 23. Checks. Number theory studies the relationship between numbers, and I've seen the expression number theory in many a place, and it means lots of different things, so my advice is not to get hung up on what they're talking about here. What does it mean for numbers to be consecutive? How would we count them? So now you know all you need to know about number theory. I say the consecutive numbers starting with 5 that go 4 times would be 5, 6, 7, 8. So we write this down only because people get confused by it very readily. Find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is 42. Well, there's x, then there's x plus 1, then there's x plus 2. 4, 5, 6, 20, 21, 22. By the way, guess and check works very well on this. Sum them up to get to 42. x plus x is 3x. 1 plus 2 is 3. X equals 13. Now, you say, I'm done. Can I just go home? No, what's the question? Read the full question over and over. Well, the question says, find 3 consecutive integers whose sum is 42. Well, I just found the first, so they are 3, 14, and 15. And oh, by the way, that turns out to be correct. What about consecutive odd or even? How would we label 3 consecutive even integers? X plus 2, like 2, 4, 6, or 10, 12, 14, and x plus 4. Same thing, which is weird. How do we know which? Well, if the problem is set up right, then it doesn't matter. 1, 3, 5, or 11, 13, 15. So yeah, we'll get some problems like that. Let's see what we can do with them. So solve equation with variables on each side. Just move them like integers. There's nothing magical about them. Just remember what you're dealing with and don't try and add a variable with an integer. So here it is. You can move either way. We typically move left with the integers. Minus 8x minus 8x plus 2 plus 2. 2x equals 1, and we get one of our first fractions of the year. Yay for us. Check it, make sure it works. It does. So I did them all in one step. A lot of people like to do multiple steps. You can do whatever you want. I mean, I could do this as one step. You should practice enough to get good, and then you can do this as a second step. I don't care, whatever works for you. Part of the reason I haven't been is I don't quite have the space. I don't like the way this worked out with an ugly number, but such is life. Should get negative 14 over 3. Now that makes me very suspicious that I made a mistake somewhere, which I haven't done in a little while, but I definitely do. So I'm putting it all in my calculator right now to check. Which, by the way, if it doesn't check on the first try, check it again, because you might find out you did it wrong. And hey, look at that, it checks. This reduces to this. So don't get hung up on that. A lot of people do. I'm going to move it right just to show you I can. I like adding, I don't like subtracting. And I'll move the numbers the other way. By negative 7 equals 14m. Now, I can write this any way I want. I'll leave it the way I have it, but you could also write m equals negative 1/2. I believe that's the symmetric property, which a lot of people are freaked out by. It's not a big deal. Keep cranking. So this is what I was saying about parentheses. I'm going to do this one first. We left the parentheses as a thing and said, well, let's just work around it. Let's cancel. X plus 2 equals negative 1. Or we could have done this, which a lot of people like doing. Distribute away the parentheses and then solve it like a normal two-step equation. It works either way. I like working with the parentheses. I'm going to multiply this side by 7. 7. 28 times 2r minus 8 equals 49r plus 70. I'm going to distribute this. 56r minus 224. 49r plus 70. I'm going to shortcut this because I've run out of space. I don't think you should. Where I'm going to just do all this on the fly. 7r equals 294. And then again, I'm just going to shortcut it, divide both sides by 7. If this bothers you, please write out all the steps, but check. It should get you the right answer. Both these check, by the way. Just, work it out. You guys should, at this point, start understanding how to do it, and just crank it. And if you're not sure, play with it. Ask a friend, ask a teacher, ask a parent. They'll probably remember how to do this. But you're getting to a point where you should not be spoon-fed. You should be able to figure things out for yourself a little bit. No solution versus identity. What do they mean? When we get something like 4 equals 3, that's, no solution. And I abbreviate no solution with NS. It means you did everything right, just the equation's nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense. This would be something like 7 equals 7. It's an identity. All solutions work. You can put anything in. Not to be confused with, chapter 7. We'll get to that another time. So here we go. 2n plus 5 equals, I'm going to distribute this away, 5n minus 35 minus 3n. I'm going to combine like terms on each side. 5n minus 3n is 2n minus 35. I'm going to subtract 2n from both sides. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And this actually cancels, so I get 0 equals negative 40. No solution. You're like probably thinking, how is that possible? Did somebody screw up? Yeah, it happens all the time. People make mistakes. And you can't get a solution, so it's not the end of the world. Just don't panic, keep moving on. Really did something dumb there. 3a plus 3 minus 5. 3a minus 2. Notice how good you have to be with your basic skills. If you do all this in a calculator, it's going to take forever. I just did 3 minus 5 is negative 2, and you've got to know that quick and handy. By the way, 3a minus 2 equals 3a minus 2. This is going to be an identity. I could literally put anything in for a, and it would work on either side. All solutions. So, steps to solve an equation, but not the only way. As you saw above, distribute, don't distribute, move this, move that, combine this first, combine this second. Use the distributive property to remove the grouping symbols. That's the parentheses, and I actually recommend that. I'd get rid of those first, especially if I'm new at doing math. Simplify the expressions on each side, combine all like terms. We just did that a couple times the last problem. Use addition and subtraction to get the variables on one side. At that point, you should know if it's a solution or there's an identity or something like that. But if you don't, it's fine. And then use multiplication, division to solve, and then got to add 5. Check it. Up here, how would you check it? You would just up here, you would just have to keep going back and making sure you didn't make any mistakes. Over here, you could actually try any number you want. Try pi, it'll work. Try 4, try 5,000, try negative 6. Should all work. So, good luck. You need to practice, practice, practice. Happy mathing.